family. So today we are reading another wonderful Avyakt Murli. Let me share the Murli. Vijit bhai, can you see the Murli? Uh,
Not yet. You sharing, right?
yeah, let us first see. Let's see.
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, okay, okay. They keep changing the features.
Okay.
Okay. Are you able to see the Murli clearly?
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
is my voice audible enough, or should I raise or decrease the voice? Is it okay?
yeah. This is fine.
Okay. So the Avyakt Murli, which we are reading today, is dated 6th April 1982, and the title of the Murli is "The Qualifications of a Servant and of Someone with All Rights." So there's a difference between a servant and a master. Uh, Baba says Adhikari Atma. Hmm. So what are the in this Murli? It's a beautiful Murli. It's a 2 day Murli. So we'll take up the day one today and half of the Murli as a day one. And in this Murli, Baba has brought out what are the signs of a soul who is a self sovereign soul who has got all rights. What are the signs of such a soul and how to acquire these qualifications? What are the qualifications through which we can become a self sovereign soul who has got all rights in, con- in contrary to the a servant soul who doesn't have any right, who just, you know, obeys Maya. And so, how to conquer Maya and become a self sovereign soul? Those qualifications and how to acquire those qualifications is illustrated in this Murli. So let's all be seated in the seat of someone who has got all rights. I, the soul, have got seated on the Baba's throne, where all rights are there and all powers and virtues are my birthright. Uh, and I'm in a natural manner. I'm a self sovereign soul by birth. I have all the rights, all the powers, all the virtues, and I'm experiencing every moment, every day in connection with my Supreme Father, Teacher, and Sadguru. Two-way communication. Om Shanti. So let's read the Murli in this state of mind. Today, Bab Dada is looking at the gathering of Raj Rishis. A Raj Rishi means someone with all rights, and a Rishi means a complete renunciate, a renunciate, and a tapasvi. Raj Rishi means who has got the complete rights, like that of a king, and a Rishi means the complete renunciate, king yet detached from the me and minus, me or mine, complete detachment, that is complete renunciate, a renunciate and a tapasvi. So Bab Dada is looking at all the Brahmin children to see to what extent Each of you has become a soul with all rights and also a great renunciate. To what extent have you put into your life the practical form of both these aspects? Now, this is the question we take just a moment to reflect deep inside on the mirror of mind through the lens of our intellect. To what extent so let's look inwards and look how, to what extent have I put into my life the practical form of both Raja and Rishi aspects. Okay, so let there be the balance of being someone with all rights and also a renunciate, to have full rights and also to be a full renunciate. Are you able to both of these simultaneously? Are we able to situate ourselves in both these stages simultaneously? You know this and you are also experienced in it. Are you able to attain a kingdom without having renunciation? Do you have all rights over yourself? That is, have you attained self sovereignty? It was when you had renunciation that you became the master of yourself. So, renunciation is a prerequisite for becoming the master of yourself, self sovereign soul, soul who has got all rights. The necessary prerequisite is a renunciation. You experienced this, did you not? You have already been told the definition of renunciation. Now, Babdada is dwelling deep into the definition and various aspects about renunciation. The first step of renunciation is the renunciation of body consciousness. Once you have renounced body consciousness, the second step is of renouncing all the bodily relations. What do you become when you let go of the consciousness of the body? What do you experience and what do you become when you let go of the consciousness of the body? Baba is asking question. The soul becomes bodiless, that is, he becomes a master. He means soul becomes a master. You become liberated from the bondages of the body, that is, you are liberated in life and have all rights to the kingdom. Since you have become a master of the self, all types of dependencies finish, because from being a servant of the body, you have become a master of the body. You have become free from serving. Now you are the master, and the body becomes your servant. You cannot be a servant and someone with all rights at the same time. Both cannot happen at the same time. Either your soul is a servant or soul is someone with all rights. Being a servant is indicated by unhappiness in your mind and it is expressed on your face. So, this is the telltale sign of a servant soul. What is the telltale sign? Unhappiness in mind and also which is manifested on the face. Unhappiness is the sign of a servant, whereas happiness is the sign of someone with all rights and a master of own self. He is constantly cheerful. This is another telltale sign of a master soul. He is constantly cheerful in the body and the mind and the body and the mind and the body. A servant is always upset. A master of the self is always seated on his throne. He doesn't let go of his throne. He is always seated in his elevated stage of being a master of the self. A servant gets confused over trivial matters in a second. His, his intellect is fluctuating, so he gets confused over trivial matters. Whereas one with all rights will constantly experience himself to be in a state of comfort, that is, in an inner state of rest, the stable state. Check yourself against these telltale signs to see who you are, a servant or a master of yourself. So, this is a churning we shall do later. We'll check, we'll dwell into what are the telltale signs to check and see who am I, a servant or a master of myself. Do adverse situations, people, physical comforts, or the environment, external environment, make you lose your respect? Lose your respect means lose your swaman. In other words, do they take you away from knowledge? That is, do they cause you distress? A servant is someone who constantly gets upset, whereas someone with all rights, like a king, is constantly a master, almighty authority, a destroyer of all obstacles, and always stable in the pure pride of his elevated stage. He maintains his honor and prestige and stays in a state of pleasure whilst continuing to observe adverse situations. Underlying these are very important things. While continuing to observe the adverse situation, this master soul maintains his honor and prestige and stays in a state of pleasure. A soul who is a constantly servant A soul who is servant constantly experiences himself to be surrounded by all types of tests. So, servant soul considers adverse situation as, you know, it's a kind of a hard test. A soul with all rights is a boatman who takes his boat across happily through all the waves of tests as though they are games. This difference between test and games. See the perspective difference between a servant soul and a soul with all rights. Seeing the wonderful games of the karma of the servant souls, Bab Dada, as well as being merciful, also smiles. In Sakar days, Baba used to tell an amusing story. Do you remember the story? Oh, servant soul, what are you doing? You were told how a mouse would come, and when you removed the mouse, a cat would come. When you removed the cat, a dog would come. When you removed another one came. Then, when you removed the second, a third one came along. Such souls remain busy in the game of that karma because they are servant souls. Sometimes the mouse in the form of the eyes deceives you. Sometimes the cat in the form of the ears deceives you. Sometimes the lion in the form of bad sanskars attacks, and thus the poor soul, the servant soul, is constantly miserable just trying to remove those sanskars. So, what are these mouse, cat, and lion? They are various types of past sanskars, bad sanskars, which this miserable soul, the servant souls, they feel constantly miserable just trying to remove these sanskars. They are. This is why Bab Dada feels mercy and is also amused. Why do you leave your throne? Bab Dada says, why the soul feels miserable and struggling? Because the soul leaves his throne. Do you automatically slip off? Set yourself with the magnet of remembrance and you won't slip off. What do you then do? You place very big files of complaints and requests in front of Bab. Some complain that they have been upset for a month. Some say that they have been fluctuating for the past 3 months, means intellect is fluctuating. Some says that they have been thinking for 6 months, but that things are still the same. When all of these complaints are put together, they become such a big file of complaints. However, just be aware, Babdara says, just be aware that the bigger the file becomes, the bigger the fine you will have to pay. Because everything, all these things are baggages which the soul carries, servant soul carries. So the easy way to finish complaints is constantly to fulfill the Father's wishes. What is Father's wishes towards us? When you say, my desire is this, then that desire of yours create a file of complaints. Let it be. Whatever is the Father's desire is my desire. What is the Father's desire? That each soul becomes one who constantly maintains pure and positive thoughts, who always has pure and positive thoughts for others, and is a benefactor of the self and of the world. You see what is Father's desire. Babdada himself is saying that each soul becomes one who constantly maintains pure and positive, Shubh Kamna and Shuddha Kamna, pure and positive thoughts, who always has pure and positive thoughts for others and is a benefactor of the self and of the world. Swakalyani and Vishwakalyani. Constantly keep this desire in your awareness, and you will continue to move along without having to labor over anything. So, this is the key method. Baba says how to become a master soul, one who has all rights. The key thing is constantly keep this desire, Father's desire, in your awareness, and you will continue to move along without having to labor over anything. Just as they say, keep moving along with your eyes closed. So don't open your eyes to such questions, distracting questions like, it won't be like this, will it? It won't be like that, will it? Keep this eye of waste thoughts closed and continue to fulfill the Father's desire. That is, continue to follow in the Father's footsteps. Is it easy or difficult to follow in someone else's footsteps? So constantly continue to follow the Father in this way. Don't take new steps of following a sister or brother. By doing that, you prevent yourself from reaching your destination. Bhagavad says, don't take new steps of following a sister or brother when the Father himself is present in this conversation. So by following a sister or brother, you prevent yourself from reaching your destination. Give them regard, but don't follow them. Accept their specialities and virtues, but place your footsteps in the Father's footsteps. Don't do things with selfish motives at that time. You also talk about things based on selfishness in an entertaining way. Bab Dada will tell you about that dialogue some other time because Bab Dada receives news from all the service stations. Baba receives the news of the whole world. Therefore, don't become a servant soul. These physical senses are very tiny. Now, Bab Dada is telling us about the physical senses, how they make the so weak souls as servant souls. These physical senses are very tiny. The eyes and ears are so tiny, yet they create a very big trap. You must have seen how, although a little spider is so tiny, the web it spins is so large. The web of each of the physical senses is also so large, they can trap you in such a way that you don't even know that you are trapped in them. They are such magical webs that they make you unconscious to spiritual consciousness and the godly codes of conduct. No matter out of the web, no matter how much souls who have come out of the web try to explain to servant souls and make them understand, what can unconscious souls understand? In a physical way, too, no matter how much you shake an unconscious person, no matter how much you try to make him understand, even if you put huge earphones on his ears, would he hear you? Similarly, these webs too make you unconscious like that. So, what pleasures would there be then be? When some are unconscious, they speak a lot, but their words are meaningless. This is to be underlined. When the soul is an kind of an unconscious soul, that soul speaks a lot, but their words are meaningless. Many in the state of spiritual unconsciousness give their own explanations about everything, but all of them are meaningless. They continue to speak about things that are 2 or 6 months old, about things of here and there. Such is this spiritual unconsciousness. The situations may be very small, but the web of unconsciousness is very big. It also takes a long time to come out of it because you try to cut each string of the web. Have you ever seen a net trap? You also have one in one of the exhibition pictures. Remove that net. A spider eats its own web. Therefore, don't go into expansion, but put a full stop to the expansion and merge it into a point. This is very important to be underlined. Remove the net. A spider eats its own web. Therefore, don't go into expansion, but put a full stop to the expansion and merge it into a point. Become a point. Put a full stop. Merge into the point and all expansion, and the whole net will become merged in a second, and time will be saved. You will become free from having to labor. You will become a point and be absorbed in love for the point. So just think about it. Is the stage of being trapped in a net better, or is the stage of becoming a point and remaining absorbed in unlimited love for the point better? Therefore, what is the Father's desire? For you to be absorbed in love. So I think we'll finish off this last pair also. Since the tree now has to be transformed, what remains at the end of a tree? The beginning starts from a seed, and at the end too, all that remains is a seed. Now, at this time of the transformation of the old tree, stabilize yourself in the stage of a master seed at the top of the tree. A seed is a point. The ocean of all the knowledge, virtues, and powers becomes merged in the point. This is called the stage of being equal to the Father. Although the Father is the ocean, He is a point. This stage of a master seed is so lovely. Remain constantly stable in such a stage. Do you understand what you have to do? Vici, take the pause here and take the next part tomorrow, the second half tomorrow. So let's take a minute to deeply reflect within ourselves the beautiful, wonderful aspects brought out by the Bab Dada in today's part of the Murli, beautiful Murli, which showcased the qualifications of a servant soul and the qualifications of a soul who has got all rights, a self sovereign soul, a master soul. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So I would invite every soul from the family, divine family, to share his or her views. Om Shanti. Or any churning point. Murli focused on the qualifications of a servant soul and a master soul and brought out the contrast between both the stages of a soul and what are the telltale signs, telltale indicators which are manifested in the physical world of such souls, such attributes. So, anyone would like to start with the uh, with the this comparison which Baba Bear brought out and how we can uh, implement them in practical life, and what are the advantages of being in such the master stage, the one who has all rights. Om Shanti.
Om
Om
Shanti,
Shanti,
brother.
brother. Yes, sister, please go
Uh, Thank you, brother. Baba, a few days back, he said about the first stage of renunciation, that is renunciating the body consciousness. So that is everything, so many branches of the body. That is the body is the trunk, and we have so many bondages and karmic accounts, sinful actions. So many branches we have that. So you burnt everything, the whole tree, and in the love of Baba, that is the fire of love. So that is the first renunciation. And Baba mentioned about that, and now he's going to the second step of renunciation. That is, second step is renunciating the bodily relations. So before going to that bodily relations, Baba is today explaining about the rights, that is Raja Rishis. So it is too touched me, brother, and the practice of that burning everything and being a seed, everything merged in a seed gives a very good experience, brother. Experience and so many benefits I enjoyed for the last 3 days. Actually, I am suffering with the biggest karmic paper, brother, for the last 1 month. But as a magic, Baba's energies and Baba's Shaktis, it's doing, and I'm practicing the Avyakta Murali as of today, what Baba is mentioning daily. So that experience, I got so many experiences. Brother. Now I'm much relieved from that paper. Paper is finished. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sister, for bringing that out, and very heartening and very happy to note that you're experiencing, because the stage of experiencing the benefits is very high. When you experience the transformation which is happening in a subtle manner deep inside, that's what is the proof of the correctness of the method. Vinod bhai, you may also share, please. Om Shanti.
Yes, brother, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Baba today has compared between a master soul and a servant soul. He says a servant soul is confused and unhappy, and a master soul is cheerful and is in the inner state of rest. Whereas the servant soul is surrounded by obstacles and it considers it to be tests all the time. Whereas the master soul considers it to be a pleasurable game and maintains honor and prestige throughout. I the second point I liked from the um, brother is Baba's desire is that every soul has pure and positive thoughts to be self benefactor and world benefactor. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Good point. Very, very good point you brought out, because that's the stage. You see how refined stage which Bab Dada is wishing for his children, that pure and positive feelings, pure and positive thoughts for everyone, for self first, and then it radiates to every soul in the world. And that is created through the renunciation from anything other than my real form. I have to get renunciated. I have to renunciate that, renounce that, because anything other than the real form is a kind of a body consciousness or a matter consciousness. Om Shanti.
Oh, Shanti.
Yeah, Vijit. Om Shanti.
So, yeah, Baba says that, self-sovereign soul is a boatman who takes his boat across happily through the waves of test, as it is, as though they feel it's the game that they are playing. And, uh, the another thing that Papa touched here is the karma of the game of karma that Papa says one or the other problem comes right for the other souls. Like Baba says, the cat. When you remove the cat, a dog would come. When you remove that, right, something or the other will come. So that means it shows the weakness, right? So I heard another story that you might also know, that a saint who was in a jungle, and he so there is a rat in his ashram, and then he wanted to get out of the rat, and then he buy a cat, and the cat cat doesn't really catch the a rat. Okay, then he sees that it is playing with it, and then in order to sustain the cat, he he has to buy a cow, because the cat needs milk, it seems. So he buy a cow, and then to sustain the cow, he find it very difficult. And then finally he gets married to sustain a cow. So problems will come one or the other way. So the however we have to come out of it. So Baba says we have to become self-sovereign and then take charge of it and then go across. So don't try. I mean, don't become a servant. So I don't
Yeah,
know if you've heard that story. Yeah. Often
that's
Baba brings us in Sakarmati. Yeah. Thank you. Inshallah.
correct. Correct. Very beautifully brought out. Because if we go in expansion, there's no limit. We can keep going on to expansions and expansions. But Baba says power doesn't lie in expansion. Power lies in the point form where I become what Baba wishes for me. And Baba is wishing me the most elevated stage like him, like Father. And the moment I shift this consciousness, then I am a master soul. Others may also please share. Chat box, yeah, the chat box may Radha Mani sister has shared mouse eyes. Yeah, mouse are like eyes because and cat ears. Baba has compared these eyes to a mouse and ears to a cat and bat sanskars to a lion because though eyes and ears are very tiny. That point also Baba said, no? Very tiny, but they have huge power webs, expansion like cobwebs, which trap the soul. Like the moment we look at a picture, any scene or scenery, there are thousand thoughts which image comes from that image, and then these are like webs. The mind just goes in each direction of these thousand thoughts, and the intellect also wanders. So they're like a trap. So again take some time to again regain the consciousness and bring to the point form. Similarly, ears, when we listen to some word, then that word has got energy, vibration of its own. The quality also varies depending on the word. So it will create a web. And similarly, bad sanskars. So anyone, what did Baba say is the remedy instead of struggling with mouse, cats, and lion? What is the remedy Baba brought out? Anyone would like to share
Full
from?
stop, right? Put a full stop to all
Yes,
expansion and merge into a point.
yeah, put a full stop because I am a full stop. The soul, by natural nature, is a point. Problem happens when we look solutions outside.
Right? So for everything, we have to look within.
Yes,
The solution lies within.
lies within. We are born with. We are embodiment of solutions. We are born to be free. We were born to be always free from problems, free from bondages, free from problem itself was like we shifted our consciousness from within to external environment.
So
And
we BKs can think that, the problems are coming or the situation is coming for us to go beyond. Because when we have the consciousness of Sakar form, right, that's when we have all this problem. The moment we go out or create a consciousness beyond the Sakar form, then there are no problems actually.
that beyond is within, not outside. That beyond stage is within. I don't have to look at other soul, the bodily soul, sister, brother. No, that is within me. I don't have to look for a solution outside. That's what Baba is trying to bring out. A slave will always look at master to solve his problem, whereas a master will not look at slave to solve his problem. Master knows the solutions, the remedies within. Power is within. So that's the subtle difference Baba brought out, no? That shift the gears, shift the consciousness, the inner consciousness from a slave to a master. Because being a Baba's child is never cannot be a slave kind of thing. It is a master because Baba wants us to become like him. Self sovereignty. So that's the shift in consciousness Baba brought out. There are many other things Baba brought out. Others may also please share so that we have a kind of a condensed takeaways from today's Murli. Anyone?
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti. Please
Today
share.
my takeaways. What I have to do is now I must conscious about my fight. I don't allow to it become too large. Then I have to pay penalty. So I must conscious about my desire. If father desire is my desire means then no fine or penalty at all. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very subtle point. One can do a doctorate in these lines. If my desires become father's desires, like father's desire become my desire, then you have achieved the goal. It's a very deep point because problem is created by my desire. If my desires are replaced by father's desire, there's no problem only. And that's the purusharth. That's the effort. And that effort doesn't need any struggle. It's just shift in consciousness. So Baba says, no, surrender your mind, intellect, and sanskars to me and take mind and intellect and sanskars and rule the world. Surrender it to him and tell Baba, use me as an instrument. So what the Purusharth, what someone can churn on this. I think the Purusharth is to just keep my own intellect, mind, and sanskars aside. Give it to Baba. And the soul, pure soul, is an instrument now. Let Baba use it the way he wants, because he is a better master. Instead of being a slave, instead of being a servant to bodily beings or my own body, let me be by my servant to the supreme almighty authority and become a master in true sense. Isn't it? Someone may churn and any other point which anyone would like to bring out. We have 1 more minute. Who has not spoken? Either he or she is not listening, or probably they don't want to share. Any specific reason of not sharing? There's so many other students.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Baba says that follow my footsteps instead of following any sisters or brothers. Because if you follow them, you're making more new ways and you'll be trapped in that. And then you'll be confused and you'll not be able to know where you've reached. So, following Baba's footstep will help you to reach your own destination. Om Shanti.
Absolutely. In the past 63 births, what did we do? We followed the brothers and sisters, like be it our relative, be it parents or anyone, friends. We followed their footsteps. We made them as our role model. So, but where did we end up? We landed up in being in the Tamopradhan stage. So Baba says, now don't look at here, there, front or rear. Just look at me, the top. Anything,
Yes.
yeah, anyone else? This is the last, uh, anyone? Girija sister, would you share, share a point? And then Kartika, when anyone would like to, just be giving 1 more minute. Because what we share in the last 2 days of the year will become the foundation of the next year. Mind it. So create that energy by sharing.
Baba says, instead of getting trapped in the trap of Maya, be in the love of the point.
Yes, yes, very beautiful. Oh, that's very beautiful. You know, the love has got a love is binding. Love is like bonding. Love for the unlimited. Very beautiful point. Okay, so
Om
let's
Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
Today only Baba wants to check our self too. what extent we renunciate and to what extent we have all rights. So there should be a balance between renunciation and rights. Without renunciation, there is no kingdom. So these are the important points.
Yes, yes, yes. Very, very important point. And this could be our homework from today's part of the Murli. As a homework, uh, before we start the new year, let's do this homework today. That we'll check. Uh, have I become a master in true sense? And if there is some margin, what is causing me not to be master there? Which are the areas which I need to work on? Where the soul is feeling, experiencing trap? And so that is a good homework. We'll take it for the today, for today. So now let's do a 1 minute meditation of reflecting. So let's all look inwards, inwards, deep inside, through my mind, intellect, and sanskars. Who am I? Am I my mind? Am I my intellect? Or am I my sanskar? Or I am beyond all this? Who am I? So, based on the Supreme Father's, teachers, and Sadguru's knowledge, I am a soul. I am unlimited source of unlimited love, unlimited light, unlimited energy, which is always a master who has got all rights by birth. My Creator has given me all rights right at the birth. So let's experience that unlimited rights, unlimited powers within me. Let me hand over my mind, my intellect, and my sanskars to my Supreme Father, and in exchange, let me take His vision. Let me take on His wishes, His desires, His vision. Let me follow His footsteps and use His intellect, His mind, his sanskars, which is always pure, always most elevated thoughts, feelings, and emotions towards everyone. And also let me offer my own self to Him, to the Supreme Father, and ask Him, request Him to use me as His instrument, and in the process experience unlimited bliss, unlimited happiness, unlimited joy, pleasure. So Bab is saying, I am pleased to use you as an instrument for the service of the mankind, service of the world, souls. So I am experiencing being a master. This experience is more elevating than anything else in the world. Being a bondage free, free from body consciousness, and free from consciousness of bodily relations. I, the soul, experiencing spiritual relations. with my Supreme Father, Teacher, Sadguru, and experiencing pleasure, unlimited pleasure, constant pleasure. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, Baba.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Ombai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 am. Until then, have a lovely day.